Week 15 is done, and we got 3 more weeks left, man, in this season, and it's coming fast. It's coming fast. A lot of questions have been answered, and are continually being answered. But there are some questions that have been answered over these past couple of weeks, and this particular weekend, this week 50 in particular, there are some teams definitely that have been eliminated from playoff contention. There's a lot of teams vying, still fighting. I know we got some big ones coming up. So, but in the meantime, let's jump in on some of these games, man. So we know when we recorded last, the Falcons actually won the game. Falcons won 29-28. So Lee, yeah, they did their thing, man.
They did their thing. They did their thing. I mean, were you surprised?
I was shocked.
You were shocked?
I
Come
was
on,
literally
man. Come
shocked,
on.
man. I wasn't expecting that at all.
I was more
I
surprised
actually
with
I looked at the game. I was just looking at it online, and then I saw, the Falcons were down by what, 3, was it? No, I can't remember, but I was like, oh, this game over. No, they were down by 1 or 2, something. And I was like, oh, this game over. Falcons gonna lose this. I think it was 8 seconds left, and I wasn't looking at it, but I guess they drove down to kick the field goal at the end of the game.
yeah,
I was kind of shocked because
they
I
hit
was
it.
like, oh, they lost.
And they hit it.
And they hit the field goal. Wow, yeah, that was interesting. Well, yeah. So, all right, let's jump in on the Cleveland Browns Chicago Bears game. Chicago Bears, just manhandle these dudes, man. I mean, 31-3. Shedeur Sanders. It was a rough outing. Myles Garrett did get a sack closer to the record. I think he's definitely going to break that record. And that's huge. Big contract, and you breaking the regular season sack record. That's pretty impressive for him to actually do that. And he got the contract. Usually, you see dudes when they get contracts, they just fall off. But anyway, Bears did what they were supposed to do. Come in, beat the Browns 31-3, man.
Yeah, I mean, plenty to little bit, right? And thankfully for Shedeur, this was not his first start, because it'd be a whole different conversation if this was his first start with the 3 interceptions. I think what's interesting is the Chicago Bears are 10-4, and Ben Johnson's doing his thing, right? We've talked about some teams like the Jaguars. Are they pretenders? Are they real legit? You got to say thing about Carolina. The Bears are real enough. The Bears are real, right? And so they likely will make the playoffs, and they will likely be a hard out. And so it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. Caleb Williams, 2 touchdowns, 242 yards. They had a good running game as well against a really good, Cleveland defense. So yeah, I mean, Bears handle their business. 30. And Shedeur has 3 more starts to try to impress enough to have the Browns not draft a quarterback in this coming draft.
Yeah, what did Shedeur say after the first game? He said, imagine what he could do with a full week of
practice.
With
the first team.
Yeah, with the first team.
He's had a few.
This is impressive, right? I mean,
Nice.
177 yards passing, 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. Your boy, what's his name, Judy? He did he flubbed, not kinda. He flubbed on that pass. He should have been a catch. Probably should have been a touchdown, and he totally gave that one up. But I think the Browns, man, this was a rough outing. I didn't expect them to win this game, but I did expect a better showing than this. I don't know. I think for Stefanski, because of the way he handled this, it still gives us more of a benefit of a doubt towards Shedeur as to whether or not he's really being coached up to win these games. We don't know. But for the Bears, they came in, they did their thing. They did what any good team was supposed to do against a lesser opponent. They dominated. This was from start to finish, and good on them, man. They look like they are now solidified as a top tier NFC team going forward, and I'm expecting them to really make some noise going into the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely. All right. You
Did
had
we false start though? I mean, you mentioned that game with the Falcons. Were we supposed to go into that, Links, or was that just
yeah, that was
okay?
if
We're gonna
you
come back to that.
no
We can come back to that.
let's go into it then.
Kick it off, Doc.
Let's
Kick it off. Yeah, let's talk about that Falcons game.
So yeah, I was no man. I was kind of shocked that the Falcons actually won the game as well because I wasn't expecting good Captain Kirk to show up. I mean, 30 for 44, 373, 3 touchdowns. Like, if he was doing this on the regular in Minnesota, there's an odd chance he might still have been in Minnesota. I mean, the Falcons did their thing. At least, Kirk Cousins had a great game. Bijan Robinson had a great game. Kyle Pitts, like, this was the Kyle Pitts everyone was expecting when he got drafted.
Yes.
Like, the dude, like, when I say finally showed, like, this was the whole, should have been, like, NFL you want notice. And it's been a whole bunch of years, but it finally happened. And hopefully it's not a one-time wonder, because, like, the dude is, when he's on, the dude is a beast. The Tampa's got some injuries, but a valiant effort, and Atlanta ended up pulling it through. Hats off to the Falcons for winning this game, and Kyle Pitts, at least for 1 week, exerting his will on the NFL.
Yeah. I am surprised that they won this game, even though I picked them. Now, I will let the cat out the bag a little bit here, because the Falcons, they didn't follow through with their commitment to our agreement that we had a couple of weeks back. Okay. The agreement is, I pick you, I believe in you, you lose. Okay. That's what's supposed to happen. We got your first round pick, and I need y'all to stop this. Don't do it again. I will continue to pick for you guys, and you guys need to continue to lose, right? As I said a couple of weeks ago, they will let you down. And I want you to let me down when I pick for you. All right? We're now slotted at number 10 in the draft. I need to get down closer to 6, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know what the Buccaneers was doing. Like, they needed this. And in all seriousness, that was a big letdown for the Buccaneers. They had this game. They had the game in hand. They had a lot of opportunities I think there was a fumble that was just it was laying there on the ground, and nobody jumped on it. Somehow, Bijan, or I think it was Cousins, they got the ball back. But I think this is now it's still a two-man race in the NFC South between the Bucs and the Panthers, but they're just making it harder on themselves. They got their guys back. You had Mike Evans, he came back, looked like he didn't miss a beat. He was lighting it up. They got Godwin back. He scored a touchdown. Ibuka, he's now slotted as the number 3, and he's a number 1 as a rookie, but he hit that rookie wall. You see that, right? I think the season, the chafing, like all of the grind is kind of caught up to him, and that's to be expected for a rookie. But now with those two top flight receivers back in Godwin and Evans, he should be able to still make major contributions as the third option wide receiver. But they were supposed to win this game, and I know Todd. We saw Todd Bowles in the press conference. He was pissed. Man. He doesn't normally talk the way that he's, you know what I'm saying? Like the words that he used and the frustration that he showed, he's a little bit more buttoned up than that. So you can tell that this one was this was a real missed opportunity for them. So we'll see if they can turn it around. But see, like Falcons, it was a good win. It's Bijan. Their offense looked like that was the way the offense was supposed to look. But what's interesting is that with Pitts, and I don't know if you noticed this, Doc, he kind of stepped into a Drake London role now that Drake London is out. And I don't know what that's all about. Like, do they need to put him at receiver? I don't know.
Jimmy Graham,
right, exactly. So maybe this kind of unlocked, not a level, but a new sort of position or role for him. And let's see if they can keep it going, even if Drake London comes back this week.
That's interesting.
But I need y'all to continue to lose when I pick for you guys.
Don't worry, they gonna come through.
Yeah.
They gonna come through.
We'll see.
Yeah. Hey, look, Lee, you had said last week. I think you had said you had made mention to Joe Burrow. Not really. The comments that he made
Yes.
and saying, he's not really that interested. I mean, it looks like he had 39 attempts in this game. Let me see
Hmm.
here if I'm looking at it right. Yeah, 25 for 39, 225 yards, two interceptions, no touchdowns. He got sacked 3 times. I thought they were going to win this game. I actually had picked Cincinnati to win this game, which was
Yeah.
mind-boggling to me, how they didn't win that. I know on the defensive side, and I just got to shout, the kid out. Demetrius Knight Jr. is up for Rookie of the Week. I mean, so he's actually doing his thing on the defensive side, but they didn't put up. I mean, it was zero. And how the Ravens had been playing, Lamar Jackson still didn't really, do anything. I mean, Derrick Henry had 100 yards, so I don't know, but they are still right there behind Pittsburgh, trying to make a push. But I fully expected Cincinnati to win this game, and it just didn't pan out. So yeah. Anyway, 24-0. That's crazy that they didn't even score a point.
Yeah, I'll jump in real quick on this one, Doc. But Links, when I saw the press conference with Burrow, this was after last week's game, two games ago, and you saw the demeanor, the disposition. You could just see it in his eyes. He really looked like a person that was beaten up not by the game, but by his circumstances. Okay, Doc and I talked about this 4 or 5 years ago. This was right after they after they lost the Super Bowl to the Rams. Both he and I, we said that was his only opportunity with this organization, because the Bengals are notorious. Well, not just the soft schedule. It was the organization. The organization is not going to support a winning culture. The Bengals do not do that. And you had a situation, revisionist history, right? History, like if you look back and you see what happened with Carson Palmer when he was a franchise quarterback for the Bengals, and how he couldn't wait to get out of that organization. He threatened to retire. That's how bad it was. And then they eventually let him go and traded him to the Cardinals, and he had a pretty decent, run with them as well. The team does not do their due diligence to support the quarterback or the players that they have, and therefore you're wasted. Joe Burrow, like I said, he just had a birthday about a week ago, turned 29, and now when you start putting putting all the pieces together and start looking at, okay, what is my career going to end up being? I think he came to that realization that it's not going to be much with this organization. When I saw that, I knew they go as he goes. And if he's not in a position where he's locked in and he's, fighting to force something, that team isn't going to do anything. And they laid an egg. Like, I mean, this was as bad as it probably could get for a team with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. 0 points, nothing. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Like I knew based off of what he was saying and based off of the situation that he was in, it's like he had no fight.
I'm going to go just a little bit deeper into what you're talking about, Lee. There was around that time when the Bengals lost, and I think like the next season, between the Bills GM and the Bengals GM about the Bengals being lucky because,
Yeah, I remember that.
You guys, number one pick, generational quarterback happened to be around. Then he get hurt. You get a top 10 pick again.
Yeah.
You get an obvious wide receiver that he played with, and you pick up Trey Hendrickson. You'll go to Super Bowl, and now you guys think you're doing something. And it was like, well, we'll see, right? And the Bengals, there was an article talking about how the Bengals got the smallest scouting team in the NFL. They are
small but mighty.
Yes, small but mighty.
Small but mighty.
They was talking about the scouting team because they got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase,
and they're bragging about this.
Yes,
they were bragging about that. Yeah.
Who else have they drafted? The no brainer Joe Burrow, because it's supposed to be two of that season, and then Joe Burrow had that season, so everyone's gonna pick Joe Burrow, and then you're gonna pick the dude he could throw to, right? Who else have they drafted? And so when you don't spend money, and you don't even invest in the draft to at least try to get the folks who cheap before they become expensive as free agents, it is what it is, right? So they've not done anything since that Super Bowl run. They now get first and second place schedules. And they lucked out with Hendrickson because Hendrickson wasn't Hendrickson until he got there. They ain't even paying him. So, right? So that's why he's frustrated. That they ain't even paying the one good guy on defense. They ain't bringing no one to help him out. So I'd be frustrated too.
When you look at it and you have I mean, they got the best receiver combo in the league. That's what everybody been saying. I mean, that's arguably.
It's top 5.
Yeah,
it's definitely top 5.
Say top 5.
Yeah.
When you got that kind of offense with these guys, come on, you got to at least invest in the defense, man, and try to get it. But like you guys say, and you guys have more history and everything behind the scenes with that. Just it's sad that you could go to a Super Bowl and you're never gonna see that. And Lee, I think you spot on with that, man. When you look at, he's looking at this, and he's like, shoot, this it for me. I'm starting to go on my downward trajectory now, and this, if things don't change, this is how it's gonna look every year.
Right.
Don't forget, in this off season, he was talking about we got to keep these pieces together. I'll take a pay cut to keep these pieces together. And you ain't paying Trey Hendrickson? Like, you really just gonna put this on me, Jamar, and T? Like, that's it? That's all we got? No trades for lockdown corners, no trades for someone to rush opposite Trey Hendrickson, no trying to maneuver draft picks to get a draft. But nothing. This it's like playing poker. I hold.
And I'll say this, right? I'll say this, and we can get off this topic, right? But the fact of the matter is that there's no standard for excellence, right? When it comes to the Bengals. And why do I say that? Before, what's the name of the head coach right now?
Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor, thank you, right? So even before Zach Taylor, there was Marvin Lewis, right? Marvin Lewis, and look, I love my, black coaches, right? Like, always want them to get a shot. But in this situation, Marvin Lewis was there for 15 years and never won a playoff game, right? And never once was he under pressure for losing his job. He actually decided to leave. They didn't get rid of him, He decided, you know what? This ain't working. I can't win. It's got to be me, so I'm out, right? The team never decided or never pressured him to win. And so here you got now Zach Taylor. He's there. He's now, everything is kind of spinning out of control. Have we heard yet about him being on the hot seat? Because the Bengals don't care. And that's what Joe Burrow is concerned about. That's what he's pissed. There's no urgency to win with that organization. Zach Taylor right now, he should be on the hot seat. There should be at least some pressure on him to fix this or to get it right. You could imagine this in Philly.
Shoot.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, with those guys?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand y'all going through your thing now, but it would be exactly Sirianni is going through. This is what it should be. Zach Taylor should be under fire right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You're right. But all right, moving on. We got the Houston Texans went into Arizona to meet up with the Cardinals, and they pretty much handled it. I mean, it's 40-20. They handled this game. They did what they were supposed to do. They are definitely playing Houston. They are a dangerous team. This is a win that they should have got. CJ Stroud look really good. Even Jacoby Brissett is playing. I mean, he's doing his thing. I mean, there's nothing else you could say there. I mean, he's having a game. But in Arizona, they got a lot of revamping to do. The coach may not be there at the end next year, and so Houston Texans, CJ Stroud, they come in, D'Amico Ryans, really looking good, and a hot team to really heading into the playoffs and doing what they got to do. So they're looking good in Houston.
Man, if CJ Stroud continues to be efficient with the ball, 22 for 29, 260, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 1 sack, and they can run the ball like they did. 15 carries for Jordan for 101 yards, right? With that defense, they're going to be a tough out in the AFC. if they get in. Because that defense is a top 3 defense. If the offense can actually put up some points, not even just being conservative, actually put up some points without turn it over, yeah, that's going to be a hard out. I mean, they put up 40, right? Yeah, it's Arizona. I mean, Brissett's doing his best. Don't even have Marvin Harrison Jr. to throw to because of I think it was appendicitis, right? So he's still a little sidelined with that. 27 for 40, 249, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, they got 20 points, right? And they got doubled up. So, yeah, Houston going to be a hard out.
Yeah, Lynx, I mean, you called it, man. We were touting Ryan, right? D'Amico, for him to get his notoriety, right, for being a good head coach. He is a good head coach. And for the job that he has done this season to keep the ship steady, even when things were out of whack during the beginning to the middle portion of the season, you know, guys hurt, Stroud, CJ hurt, but keeping them on the upward trajectory. And now this is the right time to be hitting your stride. You're getting people back, healthy. Nico Collins, they have weapons. Schultz, the tight end. They have a little bit of they're playing kind of whack-a-mole with their running backs, but I don't know where Jordan came from, but he looks like he's the hot potato now for the carries. And I think they're just going to it's going to be more of a, riding the hot hand between him and Marks. But if CJ can continue to stay healthy, and above all else, they're also protecting the quarterback. The line has been shored up. They're now they're better at picking up the blitz. He has more time in the pocket to make his decisions and distribute the ball out. And then that defense is like one of one. I believe between Denver and Houston, that I think those are like the top 2 defenses, not just in the AFC, but in the league. I could see them in the AFC Championship game easily. Especially now with Kansas City out, Ravens, they're wavering, right? Buffalo, they're one-man show. I can definitely see this team in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, man. So I want to flip this real quick, Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence, man.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've been talking about Trevor Lawrence for a couple of weeks now, and and also looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, they played the Jets, right? We know. I mean, it's 48-20. They played the Jets, right?
Let me stop you there. Let me stop you there.
Go ahead.
Right? Yeah. My boy Trevor Lawrence, man, he lightened it up. He lightened it up, right? He 20 or 32, 330 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's what he's supposed to do, right? Come in out of Clemson. I watched him out of Clemson, first overall pick, right? Prototypical quarterback. Yeah, man. And Jacoby Myers, like that pickup from the Raiders. I think that's really that. I don't think that gets a lot of pub, but that was a big boost to that offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think the Jaguars. Now, I don't think they're up there with the Texans or the Broncos, but they could surprise you, right? I think they're going to they could get out of the divisional playoff round and meet up with one of those guys, and who knows what happens. But they are another team that are starting now to pick up, and they're catching steam, and they're hitting their stride at the right time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they look good. I mean,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm laughing, man, because
What happened?
I know what the what how you feel, how you truly feel about Trevor Lawrence, right? I know how you truly feel about Trevor Lawrence. But look, I was just watching the dude, right? I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. I was watching him, and I was like, this dude, how tall is Trevor Lawrence? Is he what, 6'5"? Is he?
I think he's
About
6'5".
6'5"?
Yeah.
He's a big boy. That dude
legit
is
6'5".
I mean, using his body and just how he's handling himself now, he looked like he's coming along. Looked like he's really. I mean, he got the team looking kind of solid, and like you said, they are coming on at the right time. And I think there's like you're right. They're still in that tier below Houston and New England and a couple of them. However, and this is what I want people to know. You may not want to meet them in the playoffs because it might be that week when they turn into they put their cape on and they turn into this team who could beat anybody. So, and that could happen at any point. They could look like duds, or they could throw that cape on and just beat anybody. So it's going to be interesting in the playoffs. You know, they make it in there. They got some new teams in the playoffs this year. I'm looking in the AFC. So, yeah, let's keep an eye on Jacksonville, man. Right now, he's doing his thing.
Light them boys up, man. Light them up.
He lit up the Jets without Sauce Gardner, without Quinnen Williams, and on their third string quarterback, who was a rookie.
That's what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
You're supposed to do, yeah.
I'm looking forward to see how they do next week. They are at Denver.
Yeah.
Then I'll give them some credit if they beat Denver at Denver.
He may not be my boy no more, but, you know.
That's week to week. That's week to week.
You will make a statement. You beat Denver and Denver. Green Bay couldn't do it. You beat Denver and Denver. So, yeah.
Yeah. Man, all right. So in this next game, man, the Kansas City Chiefs are done. Wow.
Woo!
I mean, I know a lot of teams in the AFC probably, you know, wiping their head and they trying to pop their collars now and they feel more confident. But you know, it what was funny to me, you know, not funny from any stretch, but after the game, when Chris Jones was being interviewed, I mean, he was talking. This dude didn't even know if they was in the playoffs or not in the playoffs. Come on now.
Well, they had to wait for some of the other games to end.
Okay, so some of the other games. Okay.
Yeah.
So he found out that they got eliminated, and boy, that looked like that really gave him a gut punch, man. That was live.
I've been meaning to ask you, Lynx, what you got against Chris Jones? Because I feel this over the course of the season, there's been this animosity. Every time you could take a jab at him, you call it Crybaby Jones?
Crybaby Chris
right?
Jones. Yeah, let's go back to the Super Bowl.
What Chris Jones do to you,
Let's go
man?
back to the Super Bowl, right? So Chris Jones, I don't know if you guys have seen him, but Chris Jones was out there talking major trash, you know, and he was talking about how he going to stop the tush push. And then you remember he lined up sideways, you know, and he was trying, and he got the neck issue and all that. And then he was on the sideline crying. You know, his neck hurting and this and that. And then, you know, at the end of the game, when they realized it was over, he was boo-hooing crying. So after that, I just started calling him Crybaby Chris Jones. So that's where all of that came from. But, you know, he was talking a lot of junk. So, you know, I got to give it to people who start off like that.
You remind me of Deebo Samuels.
Oh yeah, see the same kind of. That's the same kind. Yeah. Same type of person. So, yeah. But anyway, Kansas City is done. Unfortunate for Patrick Mahomes with the ACL. I saw how he, you know, kind of when he was being tackled, leg, you know, kind of. I just don't like to look at those things, man. That's kind of, you know, and I know a couple of those happened this weekend.
Yeah.
But, you know, the Chargers end the game the same way how they beat the Eagles with an interception at the end of the game when they were driving down. It was just deja vu, man. When I saw that, I almost had to turn it off because it brought flashbacks back to the week before when they intercept us right there in the red zone. So, hey, look, efficiency, the Chargers, well-coached team, and they are, you know, they're moving. Again, I know they got a lot of injuries and stuff. I don't expect much from them in the playoffs. If they are they going to make the playoffs? Let me see.
They got a shot.
They could.
Yeah, they're right there. So, yeah, if they make the playoffs, I don't expect much, but they finally put a fork in the Kansas City Chiefs, so the Chiefs are officially done.
I think they'll be a tougher out than Jacksonville. I think you could beat the Chargers, but you're gonna have to beat the Chargers. Like they from this game, previous game, they win ugly. If it's an ugly game, they likely to win. They're well coached team. Offense supports defense. Defense supports offense. They'll make mistakes on special teams. You could beat them, but you're going to have to beat them, right? Yes, the Wicked Witch of the West is dead. Finally dead. It's like the Friday the 13th franchise, like, that keeps on coming back from the dead. Like, we always thought it was done, and Jason shows up again, like, finally dead. Impressive run by Kansas City. I think there was some crazy stat, like, it's been like 15 years since there was an AFC championship game where there wasn't Mahomes or Brady in the AFC Championship game.
Or Manning.
That goes back to 2000.
98.
Just Brady. 98,
Goes
yeah.
back to 98.
Yeah. But just Brady and Mahomes, I think it's like 2010. If you add Manning, then it's like a heck of a run by the AFC. Yeah, I mean, Justin Herbert, pretty inefficient. 19 for 29, 210, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The Chargers are committed to running the ball, whether or not they're moving it. Because Hampton 15 carries, Vidal had 12 carries, and they barely got close to 100 yards combined with those 29 carries. But they're going to try to run the ball, play good defense, have the quarterback move the chains when necessary, and see where it gets them. And, and as much fun as it is to root against Kansas City, it is a tragedy for what happened to Mahomes, and I wish to do a full and speedy recovery because he makes the league fun to watch. Hopefully he recovers well. Probably won't be back by the start of the season, but hopefully he comes back and plays like he has been playing prior to the injury.
Yeah, I think he already had the surgery, I think yesterday or today. It's a 9-month, puts him right at the beginning of the season. I think he's going to push to make it week 1.
They were saying with the LCL, because he also hurt his LCL, and so they had to fix 2 ligaments. That usually takes a little bit longer. So
Got it. Gotcha. Yeah, but no, this about the Chargers, man. Chargers, Jim Harbaugh, he does it everywhere he goes. He's a culture changer. He takes a losing organization and he turns them into a winner. Did it with the Niners, did it with Michigan, and doing it now with the Chargers. Consistent with the run, like every team should, but don't. They're not a lot of teams are as disciplined as he is. Amari and Hampton, even though he had 61 yards, he did run at 4.1 yards a clip, right? So that's pretty decent. It keeps the defense on their heels, keeps them honest, opens it up for, a not so healthy Herbert to continue to distribute the ball still with one hand. But this team is, as you said, Doc, they're technically sound. They're well coached. They don't beat themselves. And they're opportunistic on the defensive side. So they're winning the turnover battle. They're staying consistent on offense, right? And staying sound. And those teams they're just hard to beat. They're going to make you work. So to your point, I do think they would be a tougher out than the Jaguars. The Jaguars aren't as disciplined as they are. The Jaguars are held to skelter like we just discussed. Chargers are just more consistent. But a good win for them. For the Chiefs, sorry, not sorry. I was tired of seeing them in the playoffs, to be honest with you. But didn't want it to happen like this with Mahomes. Like you say, he does make the league fun to watch, and you just don't want to see guys, especially at his caliber, go down like that. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do with the draft now. For God's sake, Kelsey, just retire.
Yeah, retire.
Yeah, man. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Real quick on this, I want to ask you guys, with the 7-year run that Kansas City has had, AFC championships, Super Bowls, just winning, are they one of the top franchises in NFL history, would you say, from that 7-year run? They don't quite come up to the Patriots with Brady, but they are like the dominance that they had over the 7 years. Would you guys put them up there as one of the top franchises?
Easily, yes. You don't, I mean, and why I say easily, I can't recall in my lifetime a team that has been that successful on a consistent basis, right? Didn't win every Super Bowl they went to, but they went to 4 or 5, right? Was it 4? Was it 5?
5, yeah.
5.
And they won three out of the 5. Yeah, man. Yeah. You got teams they haven't been to 1 yet, right? And then even some they've been to 1 and they never went back. And the fact that this is the first time since he's started that he has not made it to an AFC championship game.
Crazy.
Come on, man.
That's crazy.
Come on.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Come on. Yeah, this is it's impressive. It's an impressive run.
So I have to qualify it in a good way. In the free agency era, right? We haven't seen a team like this. If you exclude the Patriots run, the last time this was done was the Cowboys, which wasn't done as long. And that was before free agency. So to Lee's point, you have to put them up there. Since 95, 96, outside of the Patriots, no one's done this. And even the Patriots thing was extended over a longer period of time, different
Period of time.
iterations. They
They
had
had
theirs, I
droughts.
mean, just dominant,
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah.
so yeah.
That's big. That's big. Yeah, it definitely would be interesting to see where they go from here and what they do in the draft. So that's going to be interesting. With that, now we have the two teams who are supposedly the juggernauts apart from Denver in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills and New England Patriots squaring up with each other. At the beginning of this game, I said, "Oh, New England got this. I mean, this is over." I mean, I could never. You just can't say that this year anymore. With these first halves, you really can't say that anymore because the parity and how these teams are playing, anything could happen. You think your team is up 21 and you living the life and you feeling good. And then that second half hits you and then, it all comes crumbling down. So, like I said, I thought New England had this. This went back and forth. Josh Allen, let me see. Let me look at his stats real quick. He had 193 yards, 3 touchdowns. Josh Allen he is a one-man show. I mean, he is doing everything, and that's why it's gonna be, if they do not get to the Super Bowl, it's going to be somebody needs to be slapped there in Buffalo because I mean you got the road paved out for you, but because he is a one-man show, it lives and dies with him. If he's off, it's off. It's off the rails. That's it. So can a more well-balanced team knock them out and take this away from the Buffalo Bills, they've been starving for a Super Bowl. And this is an opportune time for them to get it, and they knock off New England Patriots, who've been hot over the past. They've just been running, and so this is a loss that New England takes. I don't think this knocks New England out of it. This might just refocus them a little bit and get them. This might be a loss that they needed to have. To start the wheels back up again. Who knows? But it was a good game, man. I enjoyed it. But like I said at the beginning of the game, I thought the New England had it, and then I turned it away, and then here comes Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, it was like 21-0. Like it was. I mean, it felt like it was a wrap. Like, oh well, I guess Buffalo. It's just the end of Buffalo this season too, right? And then all of a sudden, Superman was like, "Oh, me put my cape on. Let's do this." And I mean, Buffalo needed this win much more than New England did, but Buffalo got the win, right? And so you got to take Buffalo, even though it's a one-man show, seemingly, you got to take them legitimately. James Cook had a good game, 22 carries for 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen had 3, and it just overall, a few of these games, this is the first weekend where we had a whole bunch of snow and ice and cold and starting to see those elements that December football starting to play, and two northeast AFC East teams battling out in the elements. Drake May, not his best game, 14 for 23, 155, no touchdowns, 1 interception. England ran the ball pretty well with Henderson and Stevenson, almost 200 yards rushing between the two. 35-31, close game. One team took the lead, other team chased them down and passed them at the end. And I think, do they play again? I think no, they don't play again. If they play again, it'll be in the playoffs, and that'll be a heck of a game.
Yeah, I mean, Patriots still lead the division, right? They're still 11-3. Buffalo's 10-4, so they hold their destiny in their own hands. I think they split. Patriots won the first game, so yeah, good budding rivalry between these two teams now. With the young quarterback on the Patriots side, you want to see a couple more seasons, a couple more years with these two going at it. But when you have to rely on one guy like this, and yeah, Cooks had over 100 yards, but he is seeing a lighter box, all right, because of Allen. So there's that. But I don't think this style of play translates well into the playoffs, because then when teams really start narrowing and zeroing in on what you do and start scheming specifically just to stop you, Buffalo has been kind of notorious for not being able to adjust. Outside of, again, Josh Allen saying, "Hey, I'll just throw this cape on," which, if he continues to do that, DC Comic may start suing for trademark infringement. it's good right now in the regular season. I think they're definitely going to make it to the playoffs, but again, I'm concerned with this style, with this methodology of winning, that I don't think it's gonna carry them far. And it's unfortunate because now you have a playoff game where a playoff setup where you're not going to see Mahomes, you possibly might not see Lamar Jackson, you're not going to see Joe Burrow. This is supposed to be Josh Allen's time. This is supposed to be now his time to dominate. And I think right now the organization is letting him down because he doesn't have the right pieces in order to really be as excellent as I think he can.
Yeah, definitely. All right. We had an NFC matchup, Washington Commanders and the New York Giants. Commanders win the game 29-21. Marcus Mariota, efficient. Jackson Dart playing well. I mean, I didn't have a dog or pony in this fight. Both teams are already eliminated from the playoffs, so this wasn't a big deal. And anyway, it's nothing much I could say about this game. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
Skip.
huh? Yeah,
Skip.
it was nothing else I could say.
Skip.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good game.
Yeah.
Good game.
Yeah.
Good game.
All right. Next. So this next game, let me get this here real quick. We had another game, you could really skip. This was the Oakland Raiders coming to Philly to play the Eagles.
Look at him now.
How noble of you. How noble of you.
Wait, links.
Skip this game. You could skip this, man.
We can skip. No, we can skip this one, right?
You could skip this, man.
You really want to skip this one? Skip it then. Go ahead. No, don't. Just skip. Let's not talk about it at all. Skip it. Let's go.
Hey, we won't.
Don't say another word. Don't say another word about this game.
We won't skip it. So hey, look, this was a get right game, right? It was. This is what I feel the Eagles needed. And I'll tell you this, in the last game against the Chargers, I wouldn't put that on Kevin Patullo either. I did see some elements in the offense that Kevin Patullo had implemented that was kind of like, okay, all right. Somebody must have been telling you something, or you went back and look at some film from last year. I don't know what happened, what it was, but I see a couple of elements. And then in this game, he had a couple more wrinkles in there. Again, a little shovel pass in. You had the two running backs in the backfield, had a couple, crossing routes. I mean, it looked, and not only that, because you could have a good offensive playbook, but it actually was in rhythm. And the reason why it was in rhythm, obviously, was because we was playing the Raiders. However, it actually made sense. You know how when a play caller has a feel for the game and they kind of know what to call in the next play, and it seemed like he knew what he was doing. It just seems like it's getting a little bit better. So I got to give props over the last 2 weeks to Kevin Patullo. The jury is still out. We'll see what that looks like continuing and going forward. But the defense is ridiculous. These dudes are ridiculous. We had two bad games. The defense had two bad games all season. We know it was the Chicago Bears and it was that Dallas collapse that we had. Those are two horrible games. But this defense, and this was without Jalen Carter. They tried Brandon Graham, came out of retirement, defensive end. They moved him into D tackle, got 2 sacks in the game, moving him into D tackle. He was rushing on the guards, and he was really doing his thing in there. So, again, some moves that were made. We shored up. We had a safety that we brought back in because Sidney Brown wasn't doing it. So, yeah, things we'll see. It was a get-right game for the Eagles, 31-0. It was one that kind of put everybody back in spirits. Everybody feels good. Saquon had his. Devontae had some. Dallas Goedert. AJ had a touchdown. So, okay, it was the Raiders. And so, we'll see. We got 3 more games left. The magic number is 1 to win the division. There's never been a repeat division winner in the NFC. And so
it's 20 years.
Yes, in at least 20 years. So
in the NFC East?
NFC East. Yes, NFC East. Okay. My bad.
Okay.
So, yeah. So definitely this is we'll see. The schedule, they call it easy. I call no game in the NFL easy. So, especially when you have, a play caller that is still kind of trying to find himself. So we will see over the next couple of weeks what this looks like. But the Eagles, come away with the win. It actually felt good to get back in the W column.
This wasn't an easy game, Lynx. Lynx. This wasn't an easy game, Lynx.
Yeah. I mean, this one was a good game. It was a good game, man. It was a good.
No, I didn't ask that. This wasn't. You wouldn't call this an easy game, easy opponent.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say so.
Kenny Pickett. He's wearing the gloves too. Because he can't grip the ball without the gloves.
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
I was expecting something until I saw a couple passes that he had, and I was like, oh yeah, that's Kenny Pickett. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm doing the math, like 25 attempts, 4 sacks, and then 13 carries. Did they have 40 players from scrimmage total on offense?
They didn't total 75 yards. Did they get over 75 yards total? I don't think.
It was 75 yards on the dot. Total yards. Yep.
Yeah. That's horrible.
But it was a good game. It was a good game.
Get right, man. Get right.
So I'll jump in. Where they totaled. His stat line says 15 of 25 for 64 yards passing. But when you look at the team stats, they only had 29 yards total passing because of the sacks he took. Right. So
yeah.
Counts negatively.
Negative. Yeah.
Kenny Pickett with the 2 gloves, and Genty still can't get him going. It's not Genty's fault. They only rushed the ball 9 times, right? Because they had Kenny Pickett throwing the ball with 2 gloves, and Brock Bowers, he 8 targets, 6 catches for 28 yards, 28 of the 29, right? Because he got 2 gloves. Kenny Pickett throwing him the ball, yeah.
2 glove Kenny.
With the 2 gloves, yeah. And I just feel bad for Max Crosby.
Yeah.
I kind of do and don't, because he did sign the big contract. He wanted to be there. I guess he thought the organization, he believed in it, that it would turn things around. Carroll still has his son coaching the offensive line that has Genty with 9 carries for 35 yards.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And Kenny Pickett with 2 gloves throwing the ball. So, but, good. The Eagles did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And Patullo, with the now sophistication in the offense, he showed it to the Raiders, and
it worked.
Looked good, because what Hurts had, he was 12 or 15. They only threw the ball 15. Yep,
that's it.
McKee almost had as much attempts as he did. Okay,
Quarterback
175 yards passing, three touchdowns, right? Any of them was shovel passes?
Yeah. Actually, you did have a shovel pass in there.
Yeah, he had a shovel pass in there. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 22, 3.5 yards a carry. Against the Raiders, yeah.
Against the Raiders.
Yeah, Patullo really showed out. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm glad we talked about this one. I didn't want to skip this one. Yeah, we good.
We ain't missing nothing, man. We ain't missing nothing.
No.
I just want to make a note that AJ Brown had 2 receptions for 41 yards. He did have a touchdown.
And that's the recipe.
That's the recipe.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the recipe.
He can't eat. That's
keep,
it.
Keep AJ Brown, right? Keep AJ Brown under 50 yards.
Under 5 catches.
Under 5 catches. All win.
Yeah,
Eagles win.
Just give him a touchdown. But stay under 50.
He didn't need to score. You don't even need to score.
Just keep him under 50, man.
Every 5 games you could give him a touchdown.
Hey, look,
5 games you give him a touchdown.
That has been the recipe, man. I don't know. If he was anywhere else, obviously he'd be going off. But it is what it is.
You Patullo with the sophisticated offense now.
He got some movement, man. He got
the
some
wrinkles.
Movement.
The wrinkles.
Y'all had any motion? Was there any motion?
Yeah, I had some motion. I had some motion in there. Got some little motion, some little wiggle in there. Little wiggle, man. Much, but look, this is sophisticated as we're gonna get now. We can't get that much. This is sophisticated. We can't expect too much now. This is what we're gonna get. We gotta get happy when we see just a little bit of something.
One-way motion, or he went and went back.
Let me tell you something, Links. Y'all better pray. Y'all better pray this coaching staff don't remain the same next season.
Boy, look at.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I definitely think some change is gonna happen.
Got to.
Yeah, definitely some changes have to happen.
Too talented. You got too much talent on that team.
Yeah. You can't waste this like this, man. But yeah, all right. And this next game, you had the Green Bay Packers, Denver Broncos. This was a good game. I mean, it was unfortunate for Micah Parsons. Going out with he had an ACL too, and so I don't know if he had surgery yet. Most likely he would have by now. I hadn't heard anything, but that's a big blow for Green Bay, especially in this NFC push. And also their receiver went out, right? He went back out again.
Well, he went out. Because he got landed on. I think it wasn't the same injury, but I think he hurt his chest. We talking about Watson, right?
Watson, right. So did he come back in that game?
He didn't come back, but I don't think it's going to be a long-term situation.
Okay, all right. Because that would have really been a big blow for them.
But I do want to say, because I know you're about to get to the lead, but I do want to preface this, right? But my boy Bo Nix in this game, man, that's my boy, right?
Boy.
So he came in there. That's my boy, right? So yeah. So he's 23 of 34, 302 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions.
Yeah,
from when he was in Oregon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Boy, man.
With Lanning as the coach, and he was just spreading the ball around. Drew Brees 2.0, right? So he comes in, and I mean, he writing it like he just keeping everything. Distributing the ball, getting it to Sutton, getting it to Franklin, getting it to Harvey. They look good. So that defense, top notch. Bo Nix at the helm. It's another AFC Championship team. I think they're going to be meeting up with the
Texans.
Man, this sarcasm is real, man.
What you talking about, man?
Sarcasm is real.
What are we talking about? I do think.
For a second, I almost couldn't tell.
I know.
For a second, I almost couldn't tell. I was like, wait a second. Oh, okay.
What are we talking about? The Broncos. I think the Broncos are an AFC Championship caliber team.
Yeah.
I do think that.
Yeah.
They with my boy Bo Nix,
yes.
leading the way.
That's your boy. I don't know when he became your boy, but.
Hey, same time Justin Herbert became your boy.
Exactly. All right. Yeah. I got you. With that one.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Hey, look. Hey, for real, I think definitely Denver Broncos, as long as they can keep. Who was it back in the day? It was the Baltimore Ravens, with the Ray Lewis team. Who was the quarterback again?
Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer. That's Bo Nix. That's Bo Nix. As long as the defense continues to do their thing, he doesn't make any errors, and he just efficiently just does his thing, they are in contention. They are going to be there. And it's going to be interesting because you got these, you got New England, you got Denver, you got Buffalo, so these teams with Kansas City being out, it's going to be interesting to see it. This was one of the games of the week that I thought was one that was going to be really interesting to watch. And again, Denver just, continues to methodically win with that recipe as long as they can keep that going. And so I'm not a big fan of Sean Payton at all by any stretch.
No.
I'm not a fan of him.
No.
But, I guess Bo Nix is able to run the offense efficiently as he wants it, where Russ couldn't do that. So, because Russ isn't that type of player, Denver is continuing to roll, man. They're continuing to do their thing.
No, man. The thing with the Broncos is after the whole Russell Wilson fiasco, they drafted a quarterback who specifically doesn't have negative plays. So that recipe is not a fluke, right? I'm just more impressed with how good that Broncos defense is. Because even during Bountygate way back in the day with Sean Payton, the Saints never had a defense like this. This is Vance Joseph has done an amazing job, and them bringing in the players over the last couple of years. And hats off to him for getting fired as the head coach and coming back a few years later as the defensive coordinator for the Broncos under Sean Payton. But that defense is rocking. And so you now have a defense that's doing great and a quarterback who's not making mistakes. And they're going to be a really hard out. And especially if he has games like this. Yeah. I am always happy when the Packers lose. And so they still have a chance to make the playoffs. We'll see how things go. But they're going to have a hard time advancing in the playoffs if they make it not having Micah Parsons, because he was the pass rusher that they needed to kind of legitimize their Super Bowl contention. So they're going to have to make do without him, and that's going to be a tough loss for them. So I'll leave it at that.
Man, I forgot Vance Joseph was at the helm there for a while. Was he an interim, or was he actually hired as a head coach?
He was hired for a few years.
Forgot all about that. Yeah, good on him. Like that, you don't typically see that. Guys recycled back to the team that got rid of them as a coordinator. That's big. And yeah, he's doing a heck of a job. But in all seriousness here, I think this was a letdown for the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Not that they should have won, but it would have been good to see them like pull this one out. Rivalry aside, has nothing to do with the rivalry that he, with the on the NFC North side, but Packers was starting to kind of put themselves up there with the upper echelon, particularly on the NFC side with the NFC caliber teams. And coming into this environment, hostile environment, after the showing they had the week before, I thought Love would have had a better showing. Even with the loss, I don't like the numbers. 24-40, 276 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. And when Watson went down, I see now how integral he is to that offense, because when he's there, that offense explodes, right? You take him out, now all of a sudden they're dinking and dunking. Like they're no explosive plays. So they better hope he comes back next week, and they better hope that he's healthy for a playoff run. Otherwise, they're looking pretty pedestrian without him. But again, on the Broncos side, I echo your sentiments, Lynx. I don't really like Sean Payton. I don't like his character, but he's a heck of a coach. He's a heck of a coach. You see him on the sideline with those bifocal glasses on, and he's looking at this big old. I don't like it. Looks like a poster for a call sheet, and he's calling in those plays, and he's got the quarterback that he always wanted after Drew Brees that can execute it the way that he intends for the play to be executed. And you see the results. Vance Joseph on the defensive side, the defense looks stellar. I think they would be my pick to actually make it to the Super Bowl on the AFC side. I think they would probably win out over the Texans in the championship game.
Yeah, definitely. So Lee, I don't know if you want to go first on this one or you want to go last. This is your game, the Detroit Lions and your Rams. What you want to do on this?
I'll tee it off. I'll tee it off this time. Yeah. No, this one was I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous about this game. We played them, I think this is like the 4th or 5th time. They got the better of us the last couple of times we played them. Especially the one in the playoff game. And they were desperate. So this is like you got literally a lion that's wounded, that's fighting for their life. They're going to come out and they're going to pull out all the stops. And that's what they did. And they jumped out in front. I think at one point they were up by 10 points. It was looking pretty shaky. But what I'm noticing about the Rams, Sean McVay and Chris Shula, our defensive coordinator, they're making really good halftime adjustments. Teams are jumping out. For the majority of the games that I've seen, even against the teams that we dominated, those teams would score like on their first or second drive. And then that's it. We lock them down. In this instance, because the Lions are the Lions, they're a really good team. They scored a couple of times, but after the halftime break, when we came into that third quarter, Rams flipped the switch. They went from a 4-man front to a 5-man front, and they just sold out on stopping Jamar Gibbs. And they were like, hey, we'll let Goff have it. And Goff, to his credit, he carved us up. But we stopped them on third down and fourth down, right? When it was needed. We forced them to punt. And when we got into the red zone, we scored. Not just field goals, we were scoring touchdowns. Devontae Adams went out. Seems he has it like with a hamstring injury. Hopefully it's not a long-term thing. He can come back. But Puka Nacua, Matt Stafford playing at a MVP level, the two running backs with Corum and Williams, and Parkinson at the tight end position with Terrence Ferguson, the rookie tight end, that 13 personnel. I'm just love everything that I'm seeing right now with the scheme, the way that he has everybody kind of moving with the sophistication of the offense.
Wrinkles.
Yeah, wrinkles, right. Wrinkles too. You putting in those wrinkles. It looks good, man. Like I'm pumped. The only thing about it is now that we're kind of beat up after this game, playing a game like this, you're not gonna come out unscathed. And to have to come and play a short week against these Seahawks, man, that I don't like it. I don't like it. Especially with the Seahawks having that cream puff game that they had. That aside, ecstatic with the win. I think to me, the Rams have proven to me that they are up there in the NFC as a top 1, top 2 team, and looking forward to finishing off the season strong.
Lee, let me ask you a quick question. Was that a touchdown by Parkinson? His knee went down.
His knee went down. So let me, in all seriousness, I saw that. I watched the play.
Yeah.
I even watched because they had a camera in the coaching booth for the Rams. I don't know if you saw this clip.
No,
if not, I'll share it with both of you.
Yeah.
They were shocked at the call. Okay.
Yeah.
They were like, what? That they called that a touchdown? Like they were even shocked at it. I think it could have gone either way. Right? And here's why I say that. It could have gone either way because they called it a touchdown. Now, had they called it down at the 1, then they would have had to prove that it was that as well, and it probably would have proven out the same way. But since they called it a touchdown, they couldn't disprove it because of the angle of the camera. When he caught the ball and his knee was down, he still didn't gather and have full possession of the ball based off of what I saw. The ball was still kind of jostling in his hand, but it didn't touch the ground. And based off of what I saw, he didn't really hug the ball until he was in the end zone. He caught it. He didn't have control of it. And then he slid in the end zone and the ball was still in his hand. So it could be called a touchdown. It could have gone either way.
Yeah.
It could have gone either way.
This goes back to what is a catch, man?
What is a catch? It still isn't as egregious as the likely one. The likely one, that's
it wasn't as bad as that.
That was bad. Yeah.
That's why, it needs to be. I don't care if the ball is moving. I don't care anything. If you got the ball in your hand, I don't care if it's moving. As long as it don't touch the ground, it's a catch. That's
yes,
how
correct.
it needs to be. Just plain and simple, and not all of this. If it's moving, if it's this, if it's that. It's just they just making it too confusing. But anyway, I had to ask you about that. But real quick,
But then even with that links, then the question would be, then at what point would you call it the catch? Like I agree with you. I think even if you got it, even if it's moving and it don't touch the ground, it should be a catch.
Yeah.
But at what point then would you consider that person down? I think under that, if that was the rule, then he would be down at the 1.
He would be down at the 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
If that was the rule, absolutely. Yeah, like you said, in this game that first half, I was like, oh, good, the Lions in there, Lions doing their thing, and I agree. When I turn it back on in the third quarter, I was like, this a whole nother defense right now. This a whole nother defense that this wasn't the same defense in the first half. This is a whole nother defense. It was like a new unit came in. And it's like these dudes had energy from I don't know where. But yeah, they definitely turned it up. And that was noticeable. So yeah, I was I knew they was gonna be in trouble when I saw how they was wreaking havoc. It was good to see. It was good to see. I think y'all still have an issue with your DB. What's my man? What's his name?
Forbes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Forbes.
You still got an issue there. If there's any weak link, I think that's it. So
yeah, that is it. That's the weak link.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cover him up. But I'd like the receivers. I saw Devontae Adams go down. Those hamstrings, they could be 4 to 6 weeks sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
It could be kind of tricky, and I know he's dealt with this before, these hamstring issues. So hopefully he could get back. And I don't think there's a big game coming up. But anyway, we'll talk about that on another thing. It's as long as Puka is there, and both your running backs are doing their thing, y'all will be fine, and you got your defense, y'all will be fine. Yeah. So anyway, go ahead, Doc.
No, man. The only other thing I want to add is the fact that we're seeing more Blake Corum, and that two-headed monster now is going to be problematic. To have two running backs that you can depend on, slightly different styles, making plays, coupled with the receivers and Stafford having an MVP-like season with that defense, that's really, really tough out. The Rams are going to be a real tough team, and they're right now, I think, the favorite in the NFC.
I'm really pleased with the running game. That's a good point, Doc, because you got Williams. He was running at 5.2 yards a carry. Corum, 6.5 yards a carry, right? 3 touchdowns between the two of them. And then Stafford just, he's playing out of his mind right now, 368 yards passing. Yeah, but that running game is really the catalyst, with all of this. It keeps the defense on their toes, on their heels, actually. And with that 13 personnel with the 3 tight ends and all of the different looks that they got coming out of that, you don't know if they're passing or running. You know what, guy? Like I thought about this for a while, because for the past 2 drafts, McVay tried to get Brock Bowers, and he tried also to get the tight end that went to the Colts, the rookie, right?
Yeah, I'm blanking on his
And
name.
I'm saying to myself, if he had gotten one of those guys.
Yeah.
With this 13 personnel, like with this offense, like he saw this years ago. Like this is what it was leading up to. Man, this would have been lethal. Like even that much more lethal if he had gotten one of those guys.
Yeah, that's dangerous. I'm glad he didn't. Yeah. So this game, it was just a letdown. I'm not gonna say much on this. The Panthers, the Saints. Panthers just disgusting for them to lose this game. I don't know how you lose this game, but I do know how you lose the game. It's a division game, and the Saints were like, yeah, I mean, we don't have anything to play with until we play the NFC South team, and we know y'all trying to get in the playoffs. So yeah, the Saints defense was like swarming all over the place. I ain't never seen them play like this ever. And yeah, it was because they didn't want these dudes to make a playoff run. But it's very disappointing for the Carolina Panthers, man. This is a game that you should have won. If you guys are trying to be a playoff team and get in the playoffs, y'all needed to win this game. Same thing as Tampa Bay. It was just a letdown for me. I that's all I'm gonna say on this one. I was just disappointed to see that they lost this game.
Hats off to Kellen Moore for navigating the Saints through the season, and they actually starting to gel. I don't think he's quite as inspiring as Dan Campbell, but I'm starting to get those same vibes the first year with Detroit, with the Saints, where like 12 games in, they're playing hard. Even though they ain't got nothing to play for, he's got the team starting to play really well. We'll see if Tyler Shough is his quarterback, for the future. But don't be surprised because they got the Jets. I think they got the Titans, and then I think they end with the Falcons. The Saints may end the season on a 5-game winning streak because they won their last 2. They beat the Bucs and they beat the Carolina Panthers. I agree with you. Like, this is the game Carolina needed to win for their chance to make it to the playoffs, and this really hurts them. And they just didn't do enough. Not going to the Saints, but hats off to the Saints for playing spoilers, if nothing else.
Where was this Panthers team 2 weeks ago? Let me say something. Like this really irked me. Because now I'm thinking like, okay, these Panthers look like they for real. They're gonna go and they're gonna, probably win out with the schedule that they have. They probably only got I think they got the Bucs again, right? And that's gonna be a showdown. But how we lose to this team? I'm watching the game and I'm like, what is? I ain't got nothing to say about this game.
Some teams play to the level of their competition.
Helter skelter on steroids, right? Dowdle, right? Dowdle only had like 49 yards rushing, 3.1 yards a carry. He was lighting us up. Him and Hubbard. So I don't know, man. Like, I can't make heads or tails of this team. But I would say this. These NFC South teams, when they play each other, all bets are off.
It's hatred.
All bets are off.
Yeah, it's real hatred.
So just a quick note here. The Saints are at the bottom of the division, right? But they got the best division record.
Good. That's all they could beat. Three of their four. Yeah.
They got
3 of their 4 wins.
Are at the bottom of the division, but they got the best division record.
That's crazy.
That's all. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah. That's wild. And speaking of wild, you had the 44-year-old quarterback, Phillip Rivers, coming out of retirement. And look, I know they were setting him up, and I thought he was actually going to, play a little bit. I mean, he started and played the whole game.
Yeah.
I thought he was coming in just to be a backup or something. This dude came in and started. I mean, look, and he played a great game. I mean, it was 120 yards. I mean, for not playing
all things
5
considered.
years.
Yeah.
5 years. Wow. One thing I guess it didn't matter to him anyway. He kind of forfeits his
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Hall of
Fame. It resets.
So it all resets all over again. And I guess he doesn't care about it because he just wanted to come back and play, right? It doesn't matter. 5 years are going to go by anyway, and it doesn't matter to him.
He wasn't getting it on the first ballot anyway.
Yeah, so, right. I guess it didn't matter.
But the insurance for him and his wife and his 10 kids resets.
Yep. It's smart. It's smart. Yeah, it's smart. It's definitely smart. He know
what he's doing.
Is where he was at in his career. I mean, was coaching high school, and now he's playing. I don't know what this is. There's no long term to this because of where he is and his age and everything. But it was just impressive to see him come off the couch and play in this game and almost win the game. I mean, yes. I thought he was going to get killed, but and be right there to almost win this game that's very impressive. I think the Colts, as they are going on a downward spiral here, it was just impressive to see Phillip Rivers come back and play at that level after being out for 5 years.
So, Steichen, the head coach, and Rivers go back to many years with the San Diego Chargers, right? And supposedly the offense he was coaching his high school team is the Colts offense. Like, it's the same playbook. So that's why it's like, hey, you should come in. Cool. He know the playbook, right? It's the same playbook. This was a master class in how to protect your quarterback. Like, if you ever want to know how to protect a 44-year-old quarterback or a quarterback who just don't quite have the fastball and you worried if he get hit, he out the game, this is the game to watch. Masterful. And they honestly should have won it. They just got a little too conservative at the end and left too much time on the clock for Seattle to come back down the field and kick their field goal to win the game. Rivers, 18 for 27 for 120 yards. He wasn't throwing downfield. He can't throw downfield far. There was one he threw a little angle route and the running back was open. He just didn't look. He couldn't find it in time. But it had recollections of 40-year-old Tom Brady where everything is kind of like slants and button hooks and he's trying to gun the out and barely get them. It's like, yeah, I can't throw that no more. And he stopped throwing the out. But they consistently ran the ball with Jonathan Taylor, even though he wasn't getting a whole bunch of yards, because everyone knew they was going to try to run the ball, but they still ran the ball anyway. Hats off to the Colts defense for keeping that Seattle Seahawks offense in check. They didn't score a touchdown. It was 6 field goals. Right? Like, they did everything but win the game. And I think, unfortunately, the lore of Phillip Rivers is going to get lost because they didn't win the game. Because if they won this game, this is going to be a story for the ages, right? But this was just a masterclass in how to call offensive plays to protect your quarterback and keep your team in the game with the running game and the defense.
Yeah, I wish they had won this game. I really wish they had won this game. I was pulling for Phillip. I was pulling for Rivers, man. I was like, look, yay, this your Hall of like. I think if he won this game and let's say they had won out, and then he retired again at the end of the season,
Yeah.
Hall of Fame.
First
I mean,
ballot.
for sure, for sure,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately? But no, I want to go a little bit deeper into this from what Doc was talking about when talking about the protection, right? How they protected him, and they did do a masterful job on the offensive line and the scheme to do that. But a lion's share of this was Phillip Rivers protecting himself. Okay, and I'm really looking at how these quarterbacks play the position. I'm in the middle of the Sam Wickersham book, right? You know, his quarterback book that he released a couple of months ago. I'm like halfway through it, and it's pretty insightful. I recommend anyone to read it if you like football. But I'm looking at Phillip Rivers, and I'm looking at how he's playing the position, looking at how then reminiscing on how Brady did it, how Manning did it, and if you want longevity, I'm looking at how Stafford is doing it, and the way that they are able to really manipulate the game at the latter stages of their career now that they have all of this insight, all of this knowledge. And then I think, well, why can't Russell Wilson do this? Right? Michael Vick seemed to have done a little bit of it, but I don't know how much of that was Andy Reid, how much of that was Michael Vick, to be honest with you, right? But I'm saying all that to say these quarterbacks that we see now coming in and they're super athletic, the Caleb Williams, right? The Lamar Jacksons, you know, even Josh Allen, right? At some point that athleticism is going to dwindle. And if you're not able to understand pre-snap recognition with the defense and be able to negotiate where you're going to go, right? Before the snap starts, right? Going back to the book, there was an excerpt on Joe Montana, and they used to ask him because the West Coast offense is one of the most complicated offenses out there. And we would be like, how does Joe do it? How is he able to process all of that information, right? Going through all of his reads to get it to the guy, right, with this complex offense. And they shared in the book, he decides before the snaps start, instead of going to the first or second read, he's like, that third read got a mismatch. I'm just going to start at the third read. And then if the third read isn't there, then I'm going to go back to the first read. And he says he goes into every play with only 2 reads, even though there's 5 reads that he's supposed to go through. But he understands what that defense is doing. So I'm saying all that to say, yes, it's very cool. It's nice to have all of that athleticism, be able to make something out of nothing. But I'm starting to realize you don't really need to go through all that if you could just understand and learn what that defense is doing and where to go with the ball pre-snap. It's going to save your career, give you more longevity. And then, only then, if something really breaks down, you could use your athleticism to get out of it. That shouldn't be the first thing you do or your first. But Phillip Rivers, he understands the game. He comes back after 5 years. He understands how to read defenses. He knew where to go with the ball. He didn't get hit that much. At 44, after a 5-year layoff. It's amazing. Amazing. Like that's how you play the position.
Yeah, and that's why you got guys like Brady, same thing, you know, who just before the play even he already knew what he was going to do before that. Yeah, very smart, very smart. Lee, again, I know I'm calling on you here, but all of these have correlations. The San Francisco 49ers, I know they were playing the Tennessee Titans, right?
Mm-hmm.
But these dudes keeping pace, man. They keeping
Yeah.
pace. I mean, they are doing their thing, and they are not letting up. When you think, you know, I mean, I know they were going to beat Tennessee Titans, so it wasn't like it was a shock or anything like that.
Right.
However,
Right.
they are continuing to keep pace in that division. Right now, you guys' division have 3 teams in the playoffs, and that's tight. That is tight. I mean, and everybody's nipping on each other's heels.
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco is supposed to be, they were supposed to be done. They were supposed to be shot. Like Brandon Ayuk, nobody know where he is, you know, injuries all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And they are just continuing to win. So I think, you know, them holding on and sticking in there and making it to the playoffs, you know, they may surprise somebody. I don't know. I mean, Brock Purdy is back. He's looking good, throwing the ball around the yard, and I don't know, man. I think they may have the answer there. They may have something. Well, we know what the answer is. The defensive coach. And that is the answer. I mean, he's really doing an amazing thing there in San Fran. So not a shock that they won this game. I knew they were going to win the game, but it's just shocking that they are right there in your division, just keeping pace with everybody else.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like any of it, but you got to tip your hats to them, and that's why I'm never at ease when I'm playing that team. When we're playing that team, and for them to still be in the hunt after all of these injuries, you got Ayuk out, you got Kittles who missed some time, Purdy who missed some time, Warner's out, right? They're missing like all of their studs, all of their guys. At some point, they're either no longer available for the rest of the season or have missed a considerable, part of the season. And they kept everything afloat on the offense and defensive side, right? Shanahan, we all know what he can do on the offensive side, and it's amazing that he can just plug and play the way that he's doing it. I don't like, who are the receivers? I know they got Pearsall, but I only know him because I watched him in college. Like, I don't, like, they don't really have any one of notoriety. CMC, who looked like he just doesn't want to get old at the running back position, still, scoring touchdowns. He was supposed to have been hurt this week, and he still came in and produced. And then Robert Saleh on the defensive side, he got a bunch of like bad batch guys, and they're going in there and they're wrecking shop. And that's why I said, I know I was tongue in cheek at the beginning of the season saying this, but I really mean it. I think he got a bad rap, a bad deal with the Jets, and I think he should really have a second consideration for a head coaching job somewhere. Raiders, someone. Like, a team could really use a guy like that. But that being said, if those guys get in, which it looks like they will, they're going to be a dangerous team. They're going to be hard out. I don't want to play them again. I don't want to play them for a third time. All right. So, kudos to them. Good game. And again, it was just the Titans, but still, when you look at their team and you look at their players, they're not supposed to be doing what they're doing anyway.
Right.
You take Shanahan, you put Shanahan on the Titans, I think the Titans would be, and Robert Saleh, the Titans would probably be where the 49ers are, the way that they're coaching. So, yeah, good job by them.
It ain't the fact that the Niners won the game. It's the fact that the Niners are 10-4. Like, how are they 10-4, right? 8 and be like, okay, yeah, they had some injuries, but all those injuries, they 10-4 in that division. So yeah, to the points already made, like, it's a well-coached team. They're getting some people back. I guess they're fresh because they was injured. So now that they're back, they had some time off. They handle their business with the Titans. Hopefully the Titans somewhere down the road figure things out. But yeah, they're going to be they're a dangerous team because it's hard to even know, are they just getting healthy or are they peaking, right? And so it's a combination of the two. So they're going to be a dangerous team if they make the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, Sunday night game, Vikings, Cowboys. Doc, thank you, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. I don't know if you want to kick this one off. Go for it, man.
Yeah, I'll kick this off, and I'm gonna be honest. We can't take credit for this. I'd love us to, right? But we have to give some credit to the Dallas Cowboys, right? So, and let me explain where I'm coming from. So I was worried about this game coming in. I figured that the Vikings defense would do pretty well against the Cowboys offense. Not that the Cowboys offense is anything to slouch at. They got the most passing yards. Their two receivers are like 3 and 8 receiving yards. The running back's like number 6 in rushing. Like, they have a prolific offense, right? But Brian Flores disguises things. It's going to be challenging for any offense against that defense. I just didn't think our offense would do well against the Cowboys defense. Why? Because McCarthy has been struggling all year long. Now, last week, he had his first decent game. I think, again, we talked about this, but they actually called plays, simplified the offense, did make it as tough for the quarterback, started getting a little bit of a rhythm. Okay, cool. So I figured we'll go into this game. We'll see how things go. He throws the interception first play, right? Like, okay, this ain't good. But again, settle things down, making plays he could make, For whatever reason, the Cowboys decided not to blitz McCarthy, even though McCarthy does horrible against the blitz because he's got a process and the game's going too fast for him when folks blitz. They didn't want to take chances with the cornerbacks one-on-one with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. I get that. But he had time now to throw, and the front four just wasn't getting pressure on their own. So he had time to sit in the pocket and throw, and that's why Hawkinson had a great game, and that's why our number 3 receiver, Naylor, had a really good game. I'll take it. From the Vikings' perspective, I'm happy to see 2 good games from McCarthy in a row. I loved the naked boot at the goal line, the gritty that he did going in, because like no one on the Cowboys was playing the boot.
Buddy.
The game is slowing down for him. It's not slow yet, but it's slowing down. He's starting to process more. I was getting a bit antsy, and Lee was trying to talk me off the ledge with McCarthy, like give him time. Like we gave him enough time. I'm starting to see it. I'm actually hopeful for next season to see what happens. And I wasn't saying that 3 games ago, but I'm saying it now. I think for the Cowboys, honestly, this is a game they should have won. They needed to win because now it's like pretty much all hope is gone. And they just need to figure out more than anything or not, is it the DC or is it the defensive players that they have? And what I mean by that is if you can't pass rush and you can't pass cover, you got problems. Like at least you've plugged the running issue. You can now stop the run. But if you can't pass rush and you can't cover if you blitz, folks are just going to sit there and throw all day, whatever they need to throw. And now the question becomes, can your prolific offense score more points than the other team? And if you go against a team with a good defense, like what happened this time around, that was the issue, right? So not quite the Bengals, but similar kind of situation where you've got an offense that can put up points, but the defense ain't really stopping anybody. And you can't figure out seemingly how to help that offense out in any way, shape, or form. Right. So yeah, I'm happy we won. Again, it's too little, too late for this season, but it does bode well for the future for the Vikings.
This is what is
I think it's 8th. Yeah.
Yeah. Goff on his 8th start, he was 1-7. Right. By his 8th start. So like I said, I mean, I know he was drafted last year, but it's only 8 games, and it's going to be rough for any quarterback coming in, especially if the offense is complex. And
real quickly, he's coming into a team that was 15-2 last year.
Right. That's
a lot of pressure. The expectations. Yeah. High expectations. That's not unfair to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. But and that's why I say give it some grace, give it some time. And I think he has the skill set and the mindset to be able to, to get it right if given the time. I didn't like the gritty. I didn't like the celebration. Right. Look, humble beginnings, right? Yeah, things are starting to turn around for you, but I want my quarterback to be a little bit more, even keel in those situations, especially when you're still learning and you're still trying to get your footing. But I know it's fun. It's good to win. It's good to fake out the other team. I don't know how Dallas let that happen. That was bad. Reminds me of the Peyton Manning one, what he did when he did that bootleg against the Patriots.
That's
it was bad. Yeah. But no, man, it was a good win. What's more surprising, and to your point, Doc, about some of this being on the Cowboys, the Vikings didn't have a running game at all, right? I think you guys were running at like 2.1 yards a clip, something to that effect, between the 2 running backs. So I don't know what Dallas was doing. I didn't really watch the entirety of the game, but I saw Jerry's press conference at the end, and he was disappointed. I see why now he was so disappointed, because this probably should have been a game that they felt that they should have won. But it's good to see JJ start to turn things around. I would like to now see JJ form more of a rapport with Jefferson. He's getting it to the tight ends. He's getting it to to the running back, stuff like that. But I think he needs to really start stretching the field and start making some connections with Addison and Jefferson on a consistent basis. But outside of that, I think you guys are going in the right direction with him.
Jerry don't need to be disappointed. It's a 360 soap opera, man. You don't need to be
Yep.
disappointed. And guess
You're
what?
right. You're right.
Yeah, you don't need to be disappointed. And guess what?
You're right.
This is what they do. This is what the Cowboys do. Okay, when I pick, this is the time of year when it gets cold, the Cowboys fold. That's what it is. That's what they do. This is every year. This 30 years plus. There's no difference. This is MO. I don't know why they're fans. Okay, I picked the Vikings to win this game, right? Because I knew who the Dallas Cowboys are. It was no shock to me. I mean, I knew this was going to happen. So all you Cowboys fans out there, who was telling me I don't know ball and I can't, I don't know I don't watch football, so I don't know what's going on. The Dallas Cowboys are not going to lose and this and that and all this junk you always talking about, Cowboys fans. Take the L, man. Take the L. That's what y'all used to. Y'all used to these kind of L's. It don't matter what your offense look like. It don't matter what your defense look like. It don't matter who y'all got on your team. You are a 3D soap opera. I got that from your owner. I didn't make that up. That's what your owner said. So guess what? You guys are mediocre, and you're going to continue to be mediocre year after year after year. I don't care what you Cowboys fans have to say. I want y'all, and you could say it's Philadelphia Eagles bias. No, this was not a bias in this situation. I just know y'all was going to lose. That's what y'all do, man. That's what y'all Cowboys. And look, I want you guys to look at this video. Hold on. Y'all wipe your eyes, man. Wipe your eyes from all them tears. Wipe your eyes from the tears. You're not going to the playoffs. You hadn't been to the playoffs in 30 plus years. What make you think that y'all talk about delusional? You talk about delusional. This is a team that hadn't made the playoffs in 30 years, but every year they go into the Super Bowl. How is that? Call that delusion. That is delusional. Okay? Cowboys fans, come on, man. I expected this. I expected, Flores to really mix it up on Dak and not let these guys get open and really put some wrinkles in there. I expected this. And besides, guess what? Even if they were playing the Tennessee Titans, they were going to lose. It didn't matter who they were playing. If they were playing the Tennessee, because it's this time of year when the Cowboys always collapse. This is the story, man. It's been 30 plus years. Nothing's changing. Cowboys, y'all are a bunch of losers. Accept it.
All right. And be using props now. Okay. I gotta up my game, man. I mean, now I feel bad. I didn't think about that. I didn't even think about using props. But wait, that was good. That was good.
Yeah,
tissue.
Yeah. I was saving that one. I was storing up for that one.
That was good.
Yeah,
that was good. I do want to make this one small point too, going back to JJ McCarthy, Doc. The going into next year's draft, NFL, the player that is presumed to be the number one overall pick now is with Fernando Mendoza, right? The quarterback out of Indiana.
Yep.
He's 22 years old.
Yep.
JJ McCarthy right now is still 22 years old.
Wow, that's crazy.
Like I said, he came out super young. So I knew it was going to take some time. It was going to take some time, right? Super young. So like I said, I think and I like O'Connell's disposition and the patience that he's shown, even and the protection that he's giving him in his press conferences to the media. He's confident in the young man. He's like, hey, we're going to get it right. He said everything. He said the tools are there. It's up to him now to figure out how to unlock it. So he knows what he got, right? Exactly. So you guys, he's going to be straight. He's going to be straight.
One more thing about the Cowboys. They punted once, right? They punted once and they had no turnovers, and yet they lost, right? So the issue is
the Cowboys.
No. And here's what I'm saying. Brandon Aubrey, rare for him, missed 2 kicks.
Yeah.
But he was 4 for 6, right? So the offense moves and then they stall, and he has to kick from 40 yards, 50 yards, 60 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But the defense isn't stopping people. So now you've got this going back and forth. If you score more points, and it's asking a lot for a team that averages close to like 30 points a game, that puts you someplace. Or your defense needs to make more stops. but they're right in this weird no man's land where the offense is going to get 3, might get 7 sometimes, but the defense isn't stopping folks and getting 4 punts. You get 4 punts, you're going to win the game, right? So either defense got to get better, or tragically, you got to get the offense to score more points than they've been scoring, and they're scoring like close to 30 points a game. Like, it's hard to get more points than that. So they got to figure something out. They got to go one way, which is like greatest show on turf kind of offense, or the defense has to step up. So
yeah. All right. You got something?
No. You about to get to the Monday night game?
Monday night game.
They messed up again, man.
They messed up. They messed up. I'm going to be honest. I shouldn't admit this. I should not admit this. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch this game. Yeah, it was the truth. It's the truth. I really didn't watch this game. I mean, Steelers 28-50, and that's all I got.
I will not admit to not having watched this game either, but all I can talk about is the fact that Miami now seems as if after this loss that they might consider benching Tua now that they've been knocked out of playoff consideration. They won 4 straight, everything was good. They lost 1, and now all of a sudden Tua is the problem, and they may consider benching Tua.
Who's their backup?
We'll see what happens with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh.
Zach Wilson and Ewers.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And we have talked about this before. It would be interesting to see this offense, especially next season, with a healthy Tyreek Hill, if he comes back, with a strong armed quarterback, able to stretch the defense vertically. And Zach Wilson can do that in spades. But and then as for Pittsburgh, we'll see if they make the playoffs. It's going to probably be them or Baltimore, and I don't think it bodes well for either of them, whichever one makes the playoffs in that AFC. But they're fighting to get in. So
I watched the game. I did my due diligence.
Good.
Didn't want to watch it.
Yeah.
Didn't want to watch it.
I didn't say I didn't.
But yeah, so I would say this, right? So they're talking about potentially benching Tua for the remainder of the season, and rightfully so, right? You want to see what you got. They can't get rid of him. I think he'd count somewhere close like what, 84, 90 million against the cap if they cut him. So they got to stick with him, and he's guaranteed about $54 million next year, guaranteed. So they're stuck with him for at least another season. But you got to see what you have. Give me 1 second, guys.
Yeah, you good.
You're saying they stuck with him. The Broncos got rid of Russell Wilson and ate that $84 million. So
they did.
It's been done.
They did. But no, so what I was going to get into, right, with Tua in this game, you see the limitations, and it's apparent. Steelers came into the game and they sold out against the run because Achane has been eaten the past couple of games, right? So they decided, hey, we're gonna stack the box. We're not gonna let Achane beat us, right? So Achane, I think he had like 60 some odd yards rushing, 60 some odd yards receiving. So he was diverse in that regards, but no touchdowns. So he didn't have any explosive plays. But they put all of the onus on Tua to win the game. And let me tell you, man, Tua, it wasn't that bad. He was 22-28, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. But you see where the playmaking ability in those critical third down or got to have it plays where he just couldn't come through, right? He couldn't avoid pressure. The ball, it looks slow. It's fluttering coming out of his arm. Guys able to knock it down. The windows, right? Because now the windows are so tight, his timing has to be impeccable, and he's starting to throw a little bit late. He does not look like a guy that should be making the type of money that he's making at that position. Plain and simple. Okay? The market was the market at the time, and I think the coach at that time believed in him. Now, the coach doesn't seem to believe in him. When you see some of the dynamics that was happening when they would pan to the sideline, McDaniels isn't even looking his way anymore. There's no collaboration. There's no communication between the two. I think McDaniels is now like, you almost caused me to lose my job this season. I got to unhitch this wagon and I got to hitch it somewhere else, which is smart. On the Steelers side, man, the Steelers version of the tush push to me is let me tell you something. With Rodgers just standing there,
He just standing
in
up,
the
man.
back,
That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous.
right? It's the best. That's the best tush push right there. But the Steelers, I mean, they don't really impress me either. They won the game. Rodgers, he's playing okay. The running game is average at best. DK Metcalf did, he did go off. He had a couple of good plays. I think he had like 140 some odd yards receiving. He's a really only bright spot on the offensive side. And again, on the defense, without TJ Watt, for them to do what they did, it was a pretty good showing. TJ Watt, as we all know, he's out, collapsed lung. Come to find out, I think they said there was some incident with dry needling that took place, and
acupuncture.
Acupuncture. Yeah.
It was acupuncture.
Yeah. So
and they perfed his lung.
Yeah, that's why I don't mess with needles, buddy. I don't mess with needles. So just a random aside, right? I had some neck issues a while back, and my physician, she recommended dry needling. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I don't mess with that stuff.
They went to Taylor.
Yeah. No. But the Steelers, they look like they're, same old Steelers. They're gonna go make the playoffs and probably lose in the first round. That's what they look like. They don't look overly impressive. But these Dolphins, man, it's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna do with the quarterback's back position going into next season and the years to come. But I think they're gonna keep McDaniels, which they should.
Yeah. When you tour and you throw your coach under the bus, what you expect?
Mm-hmm.
What you expect?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
He threw the whole team under the bus. Not just the coach, the whole team.
Yeah, everybody. So yeah, man, he get what he get in this instance. I mean, it is what it is.
You know what's funny though? It's funny listening to him try to take accountability, right? So in the press conference after this game, he said something along the lines of he has to do a better job. He said guys weren't lined up right and I have to do a better job of communicating to them. I was like, this dude, I was like, wait a minute. He's like, that's on me. That's on me.
That's on him.
I should have communicated better to make sure that they lined up. Everyone was lined that they lined up right. Like, dude, I was like, come on.
Let me throw you under the bus.
Come on. I was like, come on.
Try to make it look good after I throw you under
the
bus.
Come on.
I didn't fix your errors fast enough. That's on me.
Yeah.
That's on me.
Yeah, that's my fault.
It's like, dude.
It's ridiculous, man.
I can't. I'm done. I'm done. I've been done. I never really, especially after the whole Brian Flores thing what he did. Not my guy.
I thought Tua was your boy.
Never.
Tua's never been his boy.
No, never will be. He ain't on Bo Nix level.
I used to champion him. Me and Lee's had discussions about Tua versus Jalen Hurts back in the day. And 20 years ago, my argument would have had a much better chance. But in today's NFL, you got to really build a team.
Let me tell you something, Don. Like, kind of revisiting that conversation. You put Tua in the NFL 20 years ago with those hits and the lack of protection that the quarterbacks had back then.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have made it.
No, he wouldn't make it.
He wouldn't have made it. He played for San Fran. He played for the Cowboys. He got a chance. But Joe for the random team, no, he wouldn't make it. 2 years.
Montana
2 years.
Took some hits,
Yeah, no. I got you. But on a bad team, he don't make 2 years.
Yeah, he done.
Right. Yeah. Which gets back to Jackson Dart trying to be old school, and it's like, dude, with all the rules, why are you looking for hits?
Don't do that. He won't be here long if he keep doing that.
But your point is well taken, Lee. But they could do the quarterbacks back in the day. Yeah.
That's dangerous. All right, so we had a good week, good recap on this last week, man. Looking forward to this upcoming week. Got some big games, starting with this Thursday night game. So we'll jump back on and talk about that, and get the talk about these upcoming games. And all right, man. So we'll wrap up with that.
All right.
Cool. All right, fellas.
Later, guys.